Coming up on KARK 4 News at 5, family and friends come together to remember a 2-year-old who was taken too soon. How the little girl known as Tinkerbell to them will be remembered. Plus,
an 18-year-old was killed yesterday morning inside of this convenience store right behind me. Coming up, we'll hear why police say they're closer to catching the people responsible.
And there may be good news for fire crews working to stop a massive wildfire in Tennessee. We'll have a look at the devastation.
Now, from the station you count on for local news that matters, this is KARK 4 News at 5 in high definition.
Developing news and breaking news coming at different angles at you this evening. First, we go to Sherwood tonight. Police investigating a death there that has been ruled a homicide. The victim is an elderly woman.
This all taking place on Shoshone Drive, and that is where KARK4's Drew Petrimo is tonight on the scene. Drew, what do we know at this point?
Well, good evening, Ashley and Bob. Sherwood police cleared out here within the last hour. But take a look. This is the home where it happened along a quiet road here in Sherwood. From the outside, there are no signs that anything went wrong, and you can still see there is a vehicle parked in the driveway at this hour. Sherwood police called out to the scene here at 8 a.m. this morning. When detectives arrived, they had been called by a family member who found an elderly woman in this home unresponsive. After detectives took a look at the scene, they ruled this was a homicide. They're being very tight-lipped about the investigation. They would not say if there were any sign of forced entry. They would not say how this woman was killed. And so far, no suspect information. Obviously, all that has the neighborhood here on edge. And even police say this is something very out of the ordinary. Take a listen.
I mean, it's a nice neighborhood. It's a quiet neighborhood. In fact, I grew up just down the road myself. Pretty rare, and even for the city itself.
Talked to two neighbors on both sides of this home, both home last night. They said they did not hear anything. Also spoke with several friends of the victim. They described her as mild-mannered, friendly, religious, the type of person that would bring your trash up from the street. They say she was at church services last night at a little Baptist church right up the street. What happened to her between the time she left church and when a relative found her this morning is what Sherwood police are desperately trying to figure out at this hour. For now, that's the latest here live in Sherwood. I'm Drew Petrimo.
All right, Drew, thanks very much. And also at this hour, we're following a story breaking out of Polk County. Police there on the scene of a shooting near the town of Dover. Authorities have not released much information right now, but we do know a deputy was involved. We have a crew on the way, and we'll bring you the very latest as we learn more. You can also get the most up-to-date information on both of these stories at ArkansasMatters.com.
Stop the violent crime. Put the guns down, because no mother should have buried their child.
The family of a teen shot and killed in a convenience store seeking answers this evening. Now police say they may be a little bit closer to catching the people responsible for Wednesday's shooting that left an 18-year-old dead.
And KARK's Charmaine Nero has the latest. Charmaine, you spoke with one of the victim's family members today. What did they tell you?
Bob and Ashley, I spoke to Jalen Faulkner's cousin, who says she's still shocked at the news of his death. She says the family's been devastated, all trying to figure out what happened yesterday morning. It's been more than 24 hours since Tiffany Williams heard about the shooting death of her younger cousin, Jalen Faulkner.
At this time, we just going through a time because we don't know what led up to the shooting or what took place.
The former Hull High School student was shot and killed shortly after 9 a.m. Wednesday inside of the No. 2 Woodrow discount store at 13th and Woodrow in Little Rock.
That's my cousin. I love them. We shared some good moments together.
Surveillance footage shows someone getting out of a car and walking up to the store before firing shots inside. Faulkner and two others are seen immediately dropping to the ground. Two men inside of the store are seen running out moments later before heading back inside to check on Faulkner.
We have identified most of the players that we have in the surveillance video. We're still trying to tie up some loose ends and get the last names identified.
Police say there may have been an argument prior to the shooting.
But I just hate that they had to take them away from us.
Now loved ones are left planning a funeral for a life taken away.
Stop the violent crime. Put the guns down, because no mother should have buried their child.
Now, police are still working to identify all of the suspects involved in yesterday's shooting. Of course, if you have any information, contact police. The family tells me they are still working on funeral arrangements for Faulkner. Bob and Ashley, back to you.
All right, Charmaine, thanks very much. A reward has been doubled for information leading to an arrest in a man's killing outside a local business. Harvell Todd Sieber was shot to death outside this business on East Capitol Avenue last month. The Little Rock Police Department now says the reward is up to $10,000. If you know anything that could lead to an arrest, you're asked to call police.
The Saline County Prosecuting Attorney Ken Cassidy ruled an October shooting by a Bend police officer was justified. Bend police responded to a domestic disturbance call between Thomas Burns and his estranged girlfriend. Police say Burns pointed a gun at an officer, and when he ignored commands to drop the gun, the officer shot him. Burns died from his injuries. A pellet gun was found near Burns. Family and friends of 2-year-old Ramaya Reed sharing a somber moment as they gathered to say their final goodbyes to that young child.
The toddler was shot and killed last week during a drive-by shooting in Little Rock, and police are still on the hunt tonight for her killer.
KARK 4's Jonathan Roselle was there as loved ones later to rest. Jonathan.
And Bob and Ashley, cameras were not allowed inside the funeral, but I was able to sit inside the church during the service. Now, there were a lot of tears shed and words of wisdom given.
Dozens of people packed Mercy Church in Little Rock for 2-year-old Ramaya Reed's funeral.
We're gonna, be okay, and we're gonna, deal with it.
The toddler, better known as Tinkerbell to loved ones, was riding in the car with her mother last Tuesday when someone drove up and fired shots at the vehicle, hitting and killing her.
Very tragic and unexpected.
Ramaya's aunt, Raquel Reed, says the child's parents are staying positive despite their pain.
It's happiness. We're going to always smile and, be happy for Ramaya, and we're going to keep the legacy going.
During the nearly 2-hour funeral service, people shared poems about the young girl and sang songs. Her older brother displaying one of the most heartbreaking moments as he yelled, "Maya, Maya, wake up, Maya," while viewing his sister's body.
Still kind of hard, due to the loss of my 2-year-old niece.
The family now hoping the $20,000 reward for information leading to her murderer will help bring them some peace.
We still want justice for my niece, Ramaya, so we just asked everyone to just come forward.
And police say they've gotten tips, but nothing concrete. They ask anyone who knows anything to give them a call. You can remain anonymous. Back to you.
All right, Jonathan, thanks very much. According to the Arkansas Department of Corrections, some staff members at the Varner unit were injured after a series of altercations. This happened on Wednesday, all around 10:30 in the night in one of the housing units there. According to an ADC spokesperson, about a dozen inmates broke windows and set small trash cans on fire. One of the staff members suffered minor injuries, but no inmates were hurt during that altercation.
The case against a Hot Springs man accused of dragging his wife through a cemetery has been dropped. Tyler Bates was facing a domestic battery charge as well as violation of protective order. A judge has ordered Bates and his wife to seek marriage counseling. They are both due in court later this month. Simulated gunshots may have been heard near UALR's campus in Little Rock as campus police host an active shooter training event. University of Arkansas Little Rock Police Department invited an out-of-state organization to train officers, including those from LRPD, in planning a rapid response deployment for an active shooter incident. The training had both classroom presentations and hands-on scenarios.
It means for us that not only will we help students survive, but it also means for us helps us survive, because then we know how to properly respond, not just in a single person situation, but as well as a group.
The training happens today and tomorrow near the campus police department at the corner of University and Asher. The instructors come from the National Center for Biomedical Research and Training at Louisiana State University.
And coming up on KARK 4 News, I'm ready. Are you ready? It's Thursday night.
I'm always ready.
Hey, it's Thursday night football right here. We'll take a look at the matchup a little later.
Plus, there may be some good news for these folks out there fighting these devastating wildfires in Tennessee. A look at a glimpse of hope after what has been nothing short of a devastating week.
And we are live in Marlton, and we're about 20 to 25 minutes away from the start of the 2016 Christmas Parade. I'm with the Marlton Spirit Squads. You guys ready for tonight? Yeah! We had a nice day today. We're going to have a nice night for a Christmas parade out here in Morrilton, and we've got a nice day on Friday. But here are the numbers from Little Rock today. We started the day frosty at 30 degrees, up to 61 this afternoon. Get ready. Winter's chill isn't too far off. We'll have your forecast in just a couple minutes.
From the station that brings you local news that matters, this is KARK4 News at 5 with Bob Clausen, Ashley Katz, and Chief Meteorologist Keith Monahan. KARK4, your weather authority. Arkansas's certified most accurate forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Monahan.
It is a beautiful evening out here in Morrilton, and for that matter, all across the state of Arkansas. I have Jude and Gabe. They're going to be sign holders in the parade. Jude is holding my laptop tonight. Let's get right to it because there's a lot to talk about in this forecast. Temperatures across the state just after sunset, generally holding in the 50s to right around 60 degrees. It's 50 right now up at Fayetteville, 54 at Clinton, 58 at Hot Springs, and 50 just down the road from us out at Russellville. Back at Little Rock, we've got clear skies, 55 degrees. Wind south-southeast at 6, and the barometer 30.08, and it's falling with high pressure beginning to move away. But that area of high pressure brought us a spectacular day today. Just a few mid and high level clouds moving through northwest Arkansas. There'll be grazing areas along and north of US 64 as we head through the next couple of hours, but we're in for a pretty good looking night tonight. Now winds are going to be shifting around more southerly, so don't expect temperatures to get too cold tonight. They'll still be on the cold side. We'll still see some areas of frost, but not quite as cold as what we saw late last night and early this morning, with that area of high pressure now beginning to move off to the east. But that high will still be our weather maker, even though it is moving away as we head into your Friday. But we will see an increase in clouds a little bit later on during the afternoon, as we are expecting an area of low pressure to begin moving moisture across Texas toward Arkansas. Now tomorrow expected to be rain free, but that is going to change by a little bit later on Friday night into the day on Saturday, as that storm system brings up a lot of moisture from the Gulf of Mexico. So first thing Saturday morning, we're going to see cloudy skies. Areas of rain will be possible, especially across the southern half of the state, but rain and a few thunderstorms become widespread during the day on Saturday and continue off and on as we head into Saturday night through early Sunday. We may see a bit of a lull in the action during the day Sunday, but the main storm system along the Gulf Coast will be racing up the Mississippi River Valley. That's going to bring a whole new round of showers and thunderstorms to start the new work week. And then take a look at that front in the northwestern United States. By late Sunday, it'll be located over the northern Rockies. That is going to bring in the coldest air of the season. You better find your winter coats because you're going to need them by next Wednesday and Thursday. Your forecast for tonight, we're looking for clear skies down to 35 for your day on Friday. If you've got a vacation day you've got to burn before the end of the year, tomorrow's the day to do it. Look for a high of 63. Your weather impact number for tonight and for tomorrow, a goose egg. No weather problems expected. Up to a 7 for Saturday, because we are going to see rain developing very quickly during the day. Some of that rain could be briefly heavy. That'll taper off somewhat Sunday. Looking for about an inch of rain Saturday into early Sunday. Only in the upper 40s this weekend with the clouds and rain around. Rain and thunderstorms for Monday, another 1 to 2 inches with that storm system. And then that Arctic front approaches by midday on Wednesday. High temperatures in the mid-50s, and then we'll be looking for steadier falling temperatures into the 30s and 40s Wednesday afternoon, and highs only in the upper 30s to mid-40s as we head into your Thursday. So a lot of Christmas parades coming up over the next couple of days, and it's finally going to start feeling like Christmas and the winter season, especially by this time next week. Stick around. We will be right back.
You're watching KARK4, Arkansas's most awarded news station.
A police officer denied medical retirement from injuries she got while trying to arrest someone while working off duty, prompting a rule change that could protect other officers who would fall through the cracks.
In a Working For You update, Marcy Manley has more on the rule changes following our coverage that could leave fewer police off duty and out of work.
Yeah, you might recall in November we highlighted the case of Megan Jones. She's an officer here at the Little Rock Police Department. She was injured while working off duty, and she didn't get on-duty retirement benefits even though she was arresting someone at the time. They described it as a technicality, her and the FOP. The board today described it as a gray area that needed clarifying, and the board is hoping this rule change will do just that.
Disability case where the officer was working in an off-duty position.
Officer Jones was working department-approved security when she was run over by by a getaway driver in 2008. Dillard's department store covered all of her medical costs, but the injuries eventually took their toll. She applied for medical retirement, but the lot fee board denied her full coverage because she was working off duty. That cut her benefits in half.
All in favor?
Thursday, the board voted to change the rules so that officers working off duty but performing police functions, like attempting to stop a crime, don't fall through the cracks. The rule includes guidelines for departments to protect against fraud, and the board member representing police says officers deserve to be protected while working to protect and serve on or off duty.
Being a law enforcement officer, from our perspective, we feel like it's our belief for most officers that if you're active in a law enforcement action, you're going to be covered as a police officer, and just as it turns out, that wasn't the case.
Now, this rule change won't help Officer Jones at Little Rock PD. She's having to go through an appeal process at the circuit court level, but the board is hoping that it'll provide some guidance for departments on how to make their processes so that the police are protected when working off duty, and also give some insurance to officers who are working off duty but get involved and have to act as police in that time, that they will be covered and taken care of. Reporting in Little Rock, I'm Marcy Manley, working for you.
Thanks very much. If you're a member of the police and want to know more about those guidelines, read the full changes to the rule at arkansasmatters.com.
Fires in Tennessee continue to force people from their homes. Look at the devastation and how there might be some good news for fire crews coming their way. That's next.
It's KARK 4 News at 5 in high definition.
A good portion of Gatlinburg, Tennessee remains an evacuation zone as wildfires continue to burn across that area. There are still fires burning, but after days of destruction, firefighters say the winds have calmed and they don't expect the fire to spread as quickly as it had in previous days. So far, 7 people have been killed, another 53 injured in fires, which officials say appear at least at this point to be man-made. The fires are estimated to have damaged or destroyed more than 700 homes and businesses, nearly half of them in the city of Gatlinburg.
Here's a look at what we're working on for KARK4 News at 6 tonight. Elementary students write a letter to their superintendent how they're hoping to persuade him to keep their school open. Also tonight, the Dallas Cowboys organization honors the men and women of a Central Arkansas Police Department. Tonight, hear from the officers about their experience at Jerry World. Tonight at 6. Well, he is a familiar face here on KARK, and now he's giving back to families who need some help making ends meet. Instead of taking out his boat on the water today, our fishing expert, Big Sarge, delivered this boatload of supplies to our house. All it took was one tour of this Little Rock homeless shelter, and Big Sarge was hooked.
We want to get together and make a change for the community and help these folks out.
Big Sarge and his fishing team had a cookout last weekend to raise money to buy the most needed items like diapers, clothes, and toiletries. The donations will help about 90 families in the Our House Homelessness Prevention Program.
Mission accomplished, Big Sarge. The Minnesota Vikings hosting the red-hot Dallas Cowboys tonight right here on KARK. Man, there you go. Minneapolis should be a great matchup tonight. Probably going to be a little cool up there. Kickoff will be at 7:30. A special edition of Football Night in America starting at 6:30 right here on KARK4 News. We have that music playing here constantly.
We love it. Well, a week from today, the weather is going to be a lot different. Chief Keith will fill us in on exactly what's headed our way this weekend before next week. That's next.
This is KARK4 News at 5 in high definition.
Tonight, Chief Keith getting as close to the North Pole as possible.
Oh, yeah. Kicking off Christmas, it is December 1st. So, Keith, where would he be, of course, other than a Christmas parade tonight? Keith?
Hey, that's right. It is a beautiful evening out here in Morrilton for the 2016 Christmas parade. I talked to the former mayor a little while ago, and he said this parade's been going on at least 50 years. We got a nice night for it, and a nice night everywhere across Arkansas. Hey, you guys, why don't we say hi to your mom? Hi, Mom! We've got a great forecast as we head through tonight and tomorrow. Partly cloudy tomorrow, low to mid-60s. A rainy weekend, highs in the upper 40s for Saturday and Sunday. A stormy Monday. Tuesday, it's going to be the nicest day after the day tomorrow. And then an Arctic front moves in as we head toward Wednesday afternoon. Mid-50s for highs around lunchtime, falling into the 30s and 40s by late day Wednesday, and only in the 40s for your Thursday. We'll see you tonight at 6.